Before we dive into today's topic, I want to be very clear about something. Everyone collects differently. Some collectors build incredible museum-style rooms, even entire homes, and they absolutely love it. And that's completely valid. This video isn't about saying what's right or wrong, or how much is too much. It's really for anyone who may feel overwhelmed, burnt out, or pressured by FOMO, or unsure why they're buying so much. If collecting genuinely makes you happy, that's amazing. But if it ever starts to feel stressful, emotionally heavy, or out of balance, then this conversation might be for you. First, I want to share something personal, because this isn't coming from a place of judgment. There was a point where I honestly felt like I've turned into a hoarder of toys. Starting this hobby, it didn't feel unhealthy. It felt exciting, nostalgic, and comforting. But slowly, those feelings shifted and felt like I wasn't just collecting what I love anymore. I was buying out of fear of missing out. Buying because something was limited. Buying because everyone else was talking about it. My space started filling up faster than my appreciation for the pieces. I started wondering whether the hobby is still serving me, or am I serving the hobby? I didn't quit collecting. I just became more intentional. Once I started reflecting my own habits, I realized how much of collecting psychology applies to all of us, not just the extreme cases. I share this because I know I'm not alone, and if this doesn't apply to you, that's completely okay. The difference between collecting and hoarding isn't how much someone owns, it's the relationship they have with their items. Collecting is intentional and joyful. Hoarding usually comes from fear, anxiety, or emotional attachment. And someone can move between those two over time like I did. This isn't a diagnosis, and it is not a label. It's just a way to reflect whether our hobbies are adding to our lives or quietly weighing us down. When people hear the word hoarding, it often sounds extreme or negative. But in reality, it's usually rooted in very human emotions. For many people, items can represent memories, comfort, identity, or a sense of security. Sometimes, holding onto things feels like holding onto a moment in time. Letting go doesn't just feel like losing an object. It can feel like losing part of ourselves. Another big factor is scarcity mentality. What if I regret selling this? What if it becomes rare? What if I can never get it again? And none of this makes someone bad or wrong. It just means our brain are wired to protect what feels meaningful. Key isn't getting rid of everything. It's understanding why we're holding on. Most bad collecting habits don't come from greed. They come from emotion. For instance, chasing the dopamine. That rush when you pre-order something or open a package, that's dopamine. Your brain's reward system doing its thing. Problem is, dopamine fades quickly. And if buying becomes the main source of happiness, it creates a cycle where you always need the next thing to feel good again. If your hobby starts causing guilt, anxiety, space issues, or financial pressure, that's not a failure. That's just a signal asking you to pause and reflect. A healthy hobby should add to your life, not quietly drain it. FOMO is one of the strongest psychological forces in collecting. Limited drops, hype videos, scarcity, social media flex posts. All these trigger urgency in our brains, and urgency makes us act fast sometimes, causing us to buy on impulse. I know I have. One thing I learned is that a smaller collection filled with meaningful pieces often brings more satisfaction than shelves full of impulse buys, pieces tied to memories, characters you truly connect with, items that make you smile every time you see them. That's intentional collecting. As I mentioned from my past videos, slowing down is a strength. Skipping a release isn't failing. Missing out isn't losing. Sometimes saying no is how you protect your peace, your space, and your enjoyment of the hobby long term. Collecting should never make you feel ashamed or pressured. It should inspire you, comfort you, and bring joy into your life. If you managed to get to the end of this video, I appreciate you. And if you find value to this, I would kindly ask to hit the like button. Hopefully that sends a signal to our fellow collectors that they are not alone, and that we are all here to help each other in our community. For next week's episode, we will dive into the dangers of social media pressure when it comes to collecting. If you find yourself scrolling through different platforms and constantly see all the flex of people's collection, and that causes you an itch to buy more toys, then that conversation might be for you. Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time, and always remember, collect responsibly.